What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we're going to be taking a look at a new Chromia. Chromia is one of those characters that had a card back in Wave 1, and we've not seen it since. There's no Chromia in Wave 2. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a Chromia in Wave 3, and the lovely Landon from TCG Rollout has been quite clear in his opinion that this is better than Wave 1 Chromia. Is he right, as he is about a lot of Transformers stuff, or is he just being a silly? Let's have a look, shall we? If we start off having a look at the basics, it is a 7-cost character, which makes it slightly cheap. It's all right. In terms of stats, we've got attack of 4 or 3, which is fine, health of 12, which is pretty good for a 7-cost, and defense of 1, which is not particularly good. Given that it is 1 star cheaper than Wave 1 Chromia, we've got higher health, lower defense, and slightly lower attack, so stats-wise we're probably doing about even here. But as with so many of these characters, it's really the skill we're worried about. And, well, let's go through both of them. Both of them are good. In bot mode, when you attack and you flip at least 2 blue icons, you draw a card. Now, you might notice at this stage that that is extremely similar to Wave 1 Chromia, who when you attacked and flipped at least 2 white icons, you drew 2 cards. Well, hang on a second. How can a skill where you draw 1 card possibly be better than a skill where you draw 2? And the answer is because it's going to work way more often. You see, white icons, the first time you flip one while attacking or defending, you flip 2 extra battle cards. Cool. The thing is, you don't want to play too many white. Because yes, white let you flip extra battle cards and that's adorable, but it doesn't actually increase your attack, it doesn't actually increase your defense. So if you're playing too many white, you're essentially not doing well enough when it comes to, well, just upping your attack or defense. So what you want to do is play a few white here or there to kind of dip your toe in the water to get the extra flips, but not too many. Well, when it comes to blue, we have no such reservation. If you're playing a defensive deck, you can sit there and go, right, I'm playing a whole heap of blue, and then every time you defend and flip at least 2 blue icons, you draw a card. And here's the thing, if you flip a double blue, you'll be fine here. You will get the skill. And back in Wave 1, we had a couple of double blue cards. We had Handheld Blaster, which gives you a double blue, and we had Security Checkpoint, which gives you a double blue. So right off the bat, you can make a 40-card deck with 6 of them being double blue, and if you flip one of these while defending, then you get to draw the card. The other major difference here is that this happens while defending rather than while attacking. And that's crucial, because it means you're drawing a card before you go into your turn, rather than drawing cards at the end of your turn. Because now you can use them straight away. You don't have to give your opponent a turn. What if you draw a couple of cards and you sit there thinking, yeah, this is great, and your opponent drops a Rapid Ascent, or your opponent drops a System Reboot, messing with your hand? Rapid Ascent will make you discard a card from your hand, though it is your choice, and System Reboot to scrap your hand, draw 4 cards. They could be bad after you've just drawn. So here, you're drawing a card when you defend, and as soon as you've finished defending, your opponent must have finished attacking, and then it's your turn. I do like this a lot. I think it's way more likely you're going to flip 2 blue than you are going to flip 2 white. Plus, we've got double blue icons. Plus, it's going into your turn. And I just think this is an all-around good skill. We see plenty of cards that let you draw extra while you're attacking. Dinobot Sludge from Wave 2 would be another example. If you've got fewer cards in hand than your opponent, when you attack, you get to draw 2 cards. Whereas here, it's while defending, and I think that makes a big difference. So we like the drawing, but what else do we have? Well, when you flip into alt mode, you may play a blue armor. It ain't everything, ladies and gentlemen. But this is extra armor. This is extra upgrades. Now, we can do better than this. If we take Megatron Arrogant Ruler, one of the Wave 2 cards I was lucky enough to be able to reveal, Megatron Arrogant Ruler, when you flip into alt mode, you get to play an upgrade. Doesn't have to be an armor, doesn't have to be a blue one. It's any upgrade with any pip combination. That is also a 10-star character, and it's not a specialist, not a card. More on that in a moment. So, no, it's not as strong as that, and I'm not going to sit here and make an argument like I did for the bot mode skill against Chromia from Wave 1. This is just worse than Megatron Arrogant Ruler. But it's also cheaper, and it's a specialist and all that, so I'm cool with it. The other really important point that bears mentioning straight off the bat, Force Field doesn't have a blue pip. Force Field is my go-to armor, as I know it is for a lot of people out there, and you do just need to bear in mind at this stage, gosh darn it, that's annoying, etc., you're not able to attach it. It's not the end of the world, but just something to bear in mind, it ain't going to work. But we do have plenty of armor that does have a blue icon. How about Blast Shield, for instance? Gives you +2 defense, but after you defend, it goes away, well, which is a little bit sad, but what can you do? Or how about Evasive Maneuvers? Evasive Maneuvers is a fun one that gives you tough free, but then after you defend, you have to scrap a card. Could be worse. Could be an awful lot worse. So there's plenty of things you can do here. There are a few disappointments, however, and not just the previously mentioned Force Field. So I know a lot of people like Bashing Shield. It's an armor, but when you attach it, you get to scrap one of your opponent's armors. Force Field. But unfortunately, you can't play that, which kind of sucks. Similarly, Body Armor gives you tough free on a melee character. And alright, it's not going to work for Chromia, but it'll work for a bunch of others. But that's got an orange icon, so that isn't going to work. And we're going to talk about being a specialist in just a second, but the specialist armor here is multi-mission gear, which lets you play an action, but it's got an orange icon. And I'm fairly sure this is deliberate, because otherwise you would be able to do it all. You would be able to attach a multi-mission gear. Hey, I've just attached to a specialist, assuming you did, of course. Now I get to play an action as well, and you could really start stringing stuff together, getting some combos rolling. Not an option you've got, ladies and gentlemen. Not an option you've got. So they are blocking us from some of the main ones here, but that's very deliberate to stop broken combos. The fact of the matter is, you get to play an extra armor. You get to draw cards. These are good skills. Now, I talk about being a specialist, and we seem to have talked about a bunch of specialists lately. You got Field Communicator. When you attach it, you get to play the top card of your deck. The aforementioned multi-mission gear that lets you play an extra action, or multi-tool, not aforementioned, which lets you play an extra upgrade. Cool. We've got some pretty good options for specialists. We like specialists. Now, the other thing is, it is a car, which gives you access to turbo boosters. It boosts your attack while untapping. Start your engines, which flips all of your characters that can be cars into car mode and untaps one of them. And then we've also got bumpers, which will prevent you from having damage moved over to you. It's cool as a specialist. It's cool as a car. I think the best thing about this is probably the drawing when you're defending. And I think this needs to be played in a blue deck. Both the skills revolve around blue. And health of 12, defense of 1 is fine if you're building a nice defensive blue deck. And then of course you can start playing around with Pierce and all of that good stuff as well. And of course you can keep getting some armor back. And alright, we're missing some of the good armor, but we ain't missing all of it, ladies and gentlemen. There's plenty of good armor that will work with this, even though there's plenty that won't. I like Sergeant Chromia. I think it is absolutely worth playing around with. And also, just a quick mention here, Chromia went from Wave 1 bike to Wave 3 car in exactly the same way as RC went from Wave 1 bike to Wave 3 car. Little bit sad, but then again, That's what the characters do, ladies and gentlemen. And although I think I'm pretty good on the card game, I am not as much of an expert on Transformers lore as some people here, and I've been told that it works, so I'm just going to go ahead and roll with it. So that's what I think about Chromia, ladies and gentlemen, but I would very much like to know what you think about Chromia. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, but please do remember the rule. Be nice, would you? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about games like Transformers, but also a whole bunch of others. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.